And yes, indeed, not breaking the rules, but going live right here on the Windy City Podcast. That's right, Dan Levy. This is an impromptu. Normally, we're on Mondays at 5. Hit that subscribe button. Any comment on any platform, audio and or YouTube, you will get a response from me because I love you and I thank you for subscribing to the Windy City Podcast. But I was at the Special Olympics in Orlando with Fansided. We celebrated 15 years of Fansided being in existence, and we did it volunteering at the Special Olympics, which was an amazing opportunity. Nothing makes me a little bit more emotional or just random emotions in weird moments than the Special Olympics when you hear the stories of the different athletes and parents who have supported their children to get there. So it's really awesome. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But thank you, by the way, to A, for Fansided bringing us down there, and B, for the Special Olympics hosting us. The Special Olympics games in Orlando going on right now. Going on also today was Bears OTAs. Dan Levy. By the way, welcome, Dan Levy, Base on Air, the greatest voice in all of radio. Hi, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Carm. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we got my old school first radio partner, Seth Marks, who's hysterical and on the ground. He's going to be popping in, I think, at some point here as well. News of the day, we've got two things that we really got to cover today. One is that, okay, the Bears broke the rules apparently, and the NFL came in, the NFLPA was watching, and they lost a day of practice, which was supposed to be yesterday, which was awesome because, again, I was in Orlando and I would have missed practice. But since they did,
I think you made the call. I think you called someone and said, hey, you know what? You may want to check on it. You might want to send someone down there. I can't make it today.
I mean, if I had that power, I would have done it, but I don't. So thank you to whoever did. That's interesting, by the way. Who the hell was the snitch? Who?
Not an OTA. It's an optional.
Well, they're sitting there at practice, and apparently the hitting's going on, and people think that someone thought it was going too far, and somebody told someone something, and the Bears lost a practice day. Eberflus gets up there today, the Flus, and he's like, look, we didn't get any fines from the NFL or the NFLPA. We lost a day of practice. People were super excited. And I think it's very clear. This dude's come in here, right? Here's the hits philosophy. I want hustle. I want intensity. And today's explaining we can have the intensity. You can be really focused, but we can't have the intensity of hitting right now. And maybe we had some hitting, and that's why we lost OTAs. But you got all these young guys that they've brought in, all these hungry dudes, and he wants you running through every single play going 110%. And guys are trying to win jobs. So they ended up losing a day of practice, which is probably a good thing, right?
First and foremost, yes, a day of rest is fine by those guys. Number two, this is the luxury of being a new coach. You're just going to get a lot of slaps on the wrists. And yes, people are trying to prove themselves. They get hit. I mean, it's a sport of hitting. I always laugh when they're like, you shouldn't hit right now. But in a couple weeks, you can hit the hell out of each other, but just not right now. All right, well, we want you to have a nice summer, take a vacation, maybe watch the NBA Finals. And when you come back, then you can smash each other up. Why is there a limit? Why is there a governor?
Well, there's a limit, Dan.
Why? It's a game of smashing each other.
Right.
You smash each other. It's a game of, well, at least you can do is show these guys this is the way we're going to tackle. So it limits the hitting. It limits brain damage, whatever else you're doing.
Right.
I mean, it'd be one thing if they did that, but I mean, come on. I mean, I've seen the way these guys hit each other in OTAs. I've been to OTAs. Nothing worse than I saw what was happening with Draymond Green in the NBA Finals and anybody else. So you're not really smashing each other that hard. Probably a little more physical than it should be, but God bless these guys. They're trying to win a gig.
Well, first of all, I did not know that you had ever been to OTAs, so you have greater credit now.
Unfortunately, I've been to a lot of Bears OTAs, spring training, and preseason basketball that I went. That was a waste of time.
Well, so, right. And for those who don't know, and I think most of you do, they're wearing shorts. They don't have pads on. There is no real hitting, but they do line up offensive line, defensive line, roll out Justin Fields. I'm going to get to Fields in a second, which is the bigger news of the day, really. And, so there's contact, and apparently I heard the words on the ground a bunch today. So I think what happened was there was some little extra taking to the ground and maybe some extracurricular on the ground, and that's what drew the ire. All I know, to me, it's like, look, it seems to me people are buying into the Flus. They're trying to impress the Flus, and I love calling him the Flus. So whatever. The Bears are playing hard at OTAs. It's a good sign. Training camp's going to be really intense. So to answer my own question here, did Eberflus and the Bears go too far? No, they didn't. They're trying to create a culture.
And if they did, it's a one game. You got to take the day off for one day. So what is that going to do?
Right.
What point are you proving? So, okay, so they're going to leave, and before they're all suspended, they're going to get an email saying, all right, guys, you can't officially meet up somewhere, but if you decide to go to a park, here's some drills to work on with each other, and we'll see you back here at Hallis Hall on Wednesday.
Well, they gave him the day off, and so Cole Kmet got up there, their union rep. He's like, "I was sweet." I forget what the name of the golf course was, but he went to some really expensive golf course that Adam Hogue told me about. By the way, thanks to CHGO for having me on yesterday. And
Nice.
so, yeah, I think it costs like an enormous amount of money to belong to this club and whatever else. But, Cole Kmet, dude went out and shot an 86 yesterday. Think he gave a shit that he wasn't doing OTAs? Like
I was gonna say, I hope his golf game is just as good as his catching game here in September, because I don't want to hear about his golf game. I want to see that guy make some catches.
Yeah, right. Well,
we're gonna need you. We're gonna need you.
They are, and so okay. Let me get to. Thank you for the people at Fansided watching the show today who are throwing into the Bears. Love you guys. Thank you. Thank you oh so much. But I think what does matter and is that, look, Justin Fields today, little bit of a rough day at practice.
All right, what happened? Well, for those of us that were not there, break it down. What is a rough day for an OTA for a quarterback?
This is a weird little scroll on the bottom here. I don't know if I did it on the ticker. That's why it's on there, not the lower third. I created a ticker, Levy. I'm losing.
I like it, man. It looks alarming. So, okay, break it down for me, because I remember when I went to OTAs, I was watching these guys play, and I'm like, I can't get anything out of this practice. I don't know what's happening here.
So what happened with Fields today? Let me tell you what happened with Justin Fields today. There was one, you're running your stuff. He threw a bunch of beautiful, deep balls, corner in the end zone, right on the money. Justin Fields, you look sweet. But then there's one play, he's holding the ball, patting it. And then he flings it down the middle. Again, OTAs, no pads, no nothing. But it absolutely should have been picked off by CJ Avery, who's wearing 47, a rookie linebacker out of Louisville. It was a terrible throw. Terrible. And I'm like, he was trying to hit Darnell Mooney. It was 5 feet behind him, and the linebacker's just dropping it. He was picked off by DeAndre Houston Carson. So, and again, I hate this because it's in the middle of June. We're doing a Bears show, so we're talking Bears, and I love it.
We got to break it down. I get we got to cover the base. But again, it's like when I remember going to like the Moody Bible basketball court to watch these guys trying out in a basketball and trying to make it to an NBA team before the draft. And then all of a sudden I'd watch them like, man, some of these guys are really good. And then they get to the actual summer games, and man, these guys are terrible. And then by the time the actual league starts, these guys don't make it. You can't make a lot out of an OTA. I know that's what we got to do. We got to create the content, and I get that. But we have no idea what Justin Fields is really doing. If they're limiting exactly how much he's even getting hit or people are even touching each other, I have no idea what Justin Fields is capable of right now. Maybe let me see how far I can throw this ball. I don't really care if I'm aiming for the guy or not. Maybe I'm trying to work something out. Let me see if I can touch that hashtag mark. Let me get something else. Let me see if I can aim to that guy. I mean, he could be practicing so many other things that we have no idea about.
That's sure. He's working on lots of things, and every time anybody says anything about Justin Fields around the Bears right now, it's super positive. This guy, I put out a tweet today. I never know what's going to hit, right? But something around Fields tends to hit. So I put out a tweet saying Cody Whitehair has seen Justin Fields' leadership take a step, when quotes take a step, or has taken a step, whatever. And the thing's got 100+ likes. I mean, people are just dying
Because
Super excited.
because we have no idea what's happening right now.
Well, we have not
no clue. You're the only window of it, and to be honest, we have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, well, and I love what I'm getting here from the fan side of Greer. Casey's coming to take down Justin Fields.
I was going to say if KC is geared up for this for a preseason game, then they have some problems too. They got rid of a lot of weapons, so we'll see about that.
We're being trolled, Levy, but that's okay.
I'll take the troll. I welcome it from an Arrowhead addict.
Yeah, and Gonzo making the transition from Arrowhead addict to stacking the box to coming over to DeWindy. You're my freaking hero, Gonzo. But look. Nothing matters on the Bears other than Justin Fields. I get it. You get it. We all get it. And I watched him here. Levy, let me ask you if this excites you. Bears fans, does this excite you? Justin Fields today, when we are allowed to film for 10 minutes, a robust 10 minutes of filming. Okay.
Wait. Are you allowed as in a total of it? Or is there during these 10 minutes you are allowed to record and then you got to turn your cameras off?
First 10 minutes, you can record. Okay. So the filming's on and then they'll say filming's off. So, and most times in that 10 minutes, nothing's happening. And now one of the weeks it was happening when he threw a perfect bomb to Treston Ebner, who dropped it. That video was appreciated by Bears fans. Thank you to
the last time I was on. So I always seem to be coming on during an OTA. I like it.
Yes. And so today all they're doing is stretching. Now, I'm going to have to take it. This is what we get. This is what we get. So I'm going to record, but I'm watching and the quarterbacks are all lined up on the same line and they're all stretching. And Fields is head down, good form, perfect, doing an outstanding pigeon, which for those of you who know anything about yoga, it's a stretch for your hips, and Fields is totally into it. I mean,
he's limber. He's healthy now. He got some rest. There's no digging up from last year. That excites me. He's coming in fresh.
Yeah, he looks good. And then the other two quarterbacks are sitting there right with him. Nathan Peterman, who wears 14, and Trevor Siemian, who wears 15, and their pigeons sucked. And so I'm like, there it is, Fields. Because all we hear, and the reason why I'm bringing it up, outside of the fact that I love a pigeon and a good yoga.
Say, June football, we're talking about a yoga pose.
Right.
Why does this excite you?
Well, okay, so Justin Jones was up there today. They asked him what he did on his off days. He said Pilates. Last week, it was Tevin Jenkins who's doing Pilates. Here's Fields, and we're actually seeing it. There's a guy who's working on his flexibility. That's a good thing. Being flexible helps you stay on the field, not get injured, soft tissue injury, all good things. I'm totally overplaying this, but I'm with you, Justin Fields. You're doing a good pigeon. And they've been overselling him so much, saying hey, he cares more than anybody cares. He works harder than anybody on the whole team. All this stuff. I mean, we're hearing it from everybody. Fields works his ass off. Fields is here first guy in. Fields is the last guy to leave Hallisall. Fields. And I'm like, would you quit overselling him? We got it. You like Justin Fields. You're not trading Justin Fields. Justin Fields is going to be your starting quarterback. We'll even get rid of Nick Foles, who probably is more talented than Trevor Siemian as a backup, because we think that Siemian will be a better guy in the room. We got it. But here was a little piece of evidence, Dan Levy, that he is working harder because his pigeon was so damn good.
Let's make the bet here. For most Bears fans, this is gonna be a rough season. Anything positive right now, all we can focus on is Justin Fields. Did they miraculously cure the offensive line from last year? No. Are we gonna have to see Justin Fields run for his life? Yes. And while he's running for his life, will he be able to actually make plays and make moves? That's all we really care about. It's going to be a really rough season. A lot of new faces, both on the offensive side, the defensive side, coaches side. There's a whole new offense for this guy to learn and to figure out. And the NFL is just going to roll on. And we play in a division where the Green Bay Packers sit nice and happy right then and there. And the Minnesota Vikings are also there. And even the games like the Lions with this brand new offense that we hope that he's starting to learn. Again, it has no bearing whether or not he's making passes in the OTA. The bearing is, was it at the right target? Did he hit the guy at the right time? All we want to know is if the offensive scheme is getting in Justin Fields' head. And hopefully it's not too complex where he can actually think on his feet and do what he's got to do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. And he's learning his way, and the scheme is supposed to be way more friendly for him. Gonzo, I don't think that Matt Nagy did not teach Justin Fields the yoga pose, and we are not giving Nagy credit for anything on this show. Nagy gets no credit, and we are so happy he's gone. I did ask. Who did I ask today? I asked one of the Bears. You know, with all due respect to last year, what's it like right now? And
that's a great professional way of putting it. I would have been like, how much better is this now with this guy than the old Nagy guy?
And let's be honest. Let's be clear. It's June the 8th. It's very early, but they said more of a team camaraderie.
That's good.
A little bit of team. Right. It was let's get some team going on here.
Nagy was also a very team atmosphere until he started posting L's, and then pretty soon that club dub was replaced by let's turn the TVs off because our quarterback is too sensitive to see the media talking trash about him. So
it was all bullshit. 100%. Like
1,000%.
Yeah. And Dan, I'm in. As the Nagy thing was bullshit, all that fine. And Flus, I'm with you. And I've mentioned this on other podcasts. I'm going to mention it again. There's just little bit of moments here, where I'm wondering if we have Jim Boylan. Well, they're really working hard for me. They're trying to prove themselves. And today,
that's the name you don't want to hear.
No, I know. I
haven't heard that name in so long. It actually brought a tear to the eye.
It's a terrible name. There are no worse names. Okay. So what they did today along the Boylan lines, they keep on moving the offensive linemen around. And I don't think this matters, but you do have to build chemistry on the offensive line. So last week, Larry Borum's at left tackle. Today's at right tackle. They're trying Braxton Jones out at left tackle. The only thing that seems to be a constant is that Lucas Patrick is going to be the center and Cody Whitehair is going to be the right guard. Everybody else is just getting bounced around. So I did ask Whitehair, I'm like, hey, buddy, how long can they keep on doing this before, ultimately you got to know who's next to you, right? You got to build some chemistry. It's like, well, my whole tenure here at the Bears, it's been changing every damn moment. So, he's not freaking out in June, but it's interest. And I get it that Eberflus is trying to learn who he has, what he has, and who fits best where. But there's no pads. But this whole shuffling the offensive line around every constantly through OTAs and going on through training camp. At some point, they're gonna have to settle on what just make a call as to this dude is best here, and we're gonna let the chemistry grow from there. They haven't gotten there yet.
Can you imagine having to deconstruct this team and only knowing where two guys are going to be at for your offense and even defense? I mean, you literally have to take someone else's dirty tray of food at a buffet and go, all right, let's figure out here what I can salvage and what I can make happen. This is the beauty of June. This is the beauty of let's just kind of run some schemes. Let's just kind of figure it out. But then again, once those pads come on, they're right. It's going to turn. It's going to be a different look. Once these guys start hitting each other, go, hey, that looked good in June. Now that this dude's getting hit, I don't think I want that guy on the right side. He's probably better on the left side. Or you know what? We should cut that dude and have a tryout for somebody else. Or hey, we need to really go harder in next year's draft, and we got to pick up one of these guys because Justin Fields tends to go this way when he snaps the ball. And right now, we got nothing for that. So, again, right now, it's just like, it's one of those. I remember my brother he's a football coach at a high school here in Chicago, and he has this program where he can actually put guys in formations. It's like a very simple computer program, and you can hit go. And these guys, it's a simulation of the play of what is supposed to happen. But again, it's one thing to watch a simulation. It's another to get these guys in pads with the brains in the game and something happening. And all right, let's see what happens when that ball is really snapped.
A big thrill for the show right now, Dan Levy, coming over from the Real Housewives of Utah, a former defensive lineman himself,
hey!
an absolute superstar on the Instagram at Seth Stock. Seth Marks live from his palatial hotel room somewhere because nobody respects people that go 100% at practice, so they get a practice canceled at OTAs. Seth, how are you, buddy? Welcome to the Windy.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. It is Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
Noted.
I do apologize to
Let's
you.
start the show all over again. We need to run that one back.
Yes. It's the most fucked up franchise in the Bravo Housewives network.
But yet brilliant, and you're a beloved character. I was walking around with Seth, Dan. This is about, I don't know, a little bit ago, maybe even last summer, and I don't know, wintertime, doesn't matter. We go into random bars in Old Town, and there are like women just lining up that want to talk to Seth because they watched the show, and it was I felt like I was with Jordan. Honestly, it was unbelievable.
Oh shit, Dan, I'm a diehard sports guy. That's how Mark and I met in high school. I just absolute love every type of sport there is. I had no idea what I was signing up for. Bravo Housewives is like ESPN for a certain demographic. It's a lot of, alpha moms that want to see the car accident on the side of the road, which are all these relationships.
Oh no, anything Bravo is must-see TV.
It's unbelievable. I had no idea. So people are like, out of nowhere, I thought I was going to be a decent sports guy and, wanted to do that professionally. Next thing you know, I'm somebody's side piece on a Bravo Housewives show and getting
Bravo, Bar Rescue, and Kardashian is must-see television. It just is right now.
So hold on. I'm going to bring Seth into the football news of the day just so we make sure we're up to speed here, and then I want your take.
Welcome to June OTAs, buddy. Hope you're buckled up.
Real quick before we get into that, for the NBA geeks, Quinn Snyder leaving Utah, I think that's a big deal. He made them a formidable program, like they were competing at a high level.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that Quinn Snyder, the ownership messed around, right? They got new ownership. You got Dwayne Wade as part of that ownership. How do you not extend Quinn Snyder? Like
that team right now is in more turmoil than I've ever seen in a long time during an offseason. Your two superstars have admitted they don't want to be with each other right now, and they are being lured to try to go away. There are more trade rumors for Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert than I've ever heard of two superstar. I would say superstar at this point. They're kind of on that cusp. They're the cusp of stars and superstar. And Donovan Mitchell would be a great piece on any other NBA franchise, and Gobert would be a fantastic inside presence to any. I mean, on a Bulls team, that would be a lockup for these guys. This would be a welcome. But right now, the two of those guys together can't get along. And you want to try to coach this team? See ya. I'm going to try to. I'll go to an Eastern Conference team when they fire somebody next year, and I'll just jump on that wagon. I'll take the year off.
Okay, so this right now, I've completely lost control of the show. Number one, this is a Bears podcast and a Chicago podcast. Number two, you just came on and threw out Utah NBA basketball, which literally no one cares about except for the people in Utah, which I appreciate that you're in Utah, and you probably like Quinn Snyder because he's just a sleek looking dude. I get it. Quinn left. Bottom line, the dude left. They tried to keep him. He left. People make life decisions. Good for Quinn. Listen. The Bears, Seth, have been, you got a bunch of young guys. You got a new head coach who's never been a head coach. You got a new offensive coordinator who's never been an offensive coordinator. You got a new GM who's never been a general manager. Everyone is trying to prove to everyone that they can actually do this, to the point that they hit too hard in OTAs when you're not allowed to hit, and they lost a day of OTAs where Cole Kmet, Bears tight end, hope you have a breakout year, buddy, went off and celebrated by playing a round of golf. Good for Cole Kmet. You are all about proving yourself at all moments in time. I don't know why you're on the move right now, but it's a fascinating little scene here. I feel like we're going.
I gotta meet someone for dinner, and I don't want. This is more important though. I love talking sports with Mark Harmon and Dan Lee.
I feel like
Levy, it's all right.
Definitely forgot there was a dinner, and now trying to and got a text it has to move. Did not realize that the dinner was going on.
Down the hotel stairwell right now. I love it. Let keep going.
Do you think
that's the way of the future?
And as you go down the stairwell, do you think the Bears are pointed in the right direction because they lost a day of OTAs trying to prove to their coach that, hey, we will go over the line here in OTAs and not worry about the consequences?
I'd much rather reel the aggression in what you're describing. This is news to me. The Bears are, it's in my blood. I love the Bears no matter where I am in the world. I'm always a Bears fan first. It's been troubling so many years with this ball club to hear this. I like reeling the aggression back versus trying to get them to be more aggressive. It's a high class problem, if we want to even call it a problem. I like it. Everything you said, I have no qualms with whatsoever. They're fired up. Like it's about time we play with that level.
Well said. You're right. High class problem, not a problem. Seems I got it.
I want Mark with Dan, and I'm not sure I ever got this out of you. One double doink field goal. Was it a triple doink or a double doink?
It'll be a double.
Double. You mortgage your house. You make unbelievably unheard of moves to move up one pick in the draft to get an unproven. You're betting into the future. The guy who didn't play a lot of college, and Mitch Trubisky. And he comes out, was it his third year or was that his second year? They took us one double doink away from the NFC Championship game. Was that his second or third year?
First year as the head coach, Matt Nagy. Yep.
No, for Trubisky.
For Trubisky, right? That was a rookie year. It was rookie year.
Was it?
No, first year two.
His second year. Correct.
We all remember that game vividly. He had to drive the ball. He had limited time. He had to get them into field goal range to win the game. He executed flawlessly in the most high pressure situation we've seen in Bears history, really modern history. Like, I don't remember Jim McMahon ever doing that. I can't name a quarterback who had his back to the wall in a playoff game that did what he had to do. I thought, and I still believe, and you'll see it in Pittsburgh, Mitch Trubisky will win the starting position. For everything we did to get the guy, I think we cut him off way too soon. He positioned us to go to an NFC Championship game. Like, I think this. What's your view? Like, I still have a Mitch Trubisky autograph picture in my office. I'm still a believer, and I know Ryan Pace was the root cause. If we don't want to, Ryan Pace is he the root cause or is it the McCaskies? Like, I'm still confused on that. Because nothing changes until ownership changes, in my opinion.
Well,
but what do you guys think about?
According to the McCaskies, they felt uncomfortable talking about football moves. So we're just going to put it squarely on the lap of Ryan Pace.
Okay.
Another thing that I did not think was going to happen today is that we would relitigate the Trubisky, but I'm happy to do it for the record.
It's true.
It was such a monumental move, like so insane, right?
So hold on. Let's go to the butt of this one. What is the question? We all love reliving this Trubisky era. What is the question?
Are you?
I want to be on record. Terry Bradshaw, first 5 years, he sucked. He was bad. He was one of the worst. You look at the statistics. One of literally lowest rating passer in the league for 5 straight years in the bottom 2 or 3. Mitch Trubisky is going into year 6 now, I believe, right? Which is when Terry Bradshaw in Pittsburgh from Louisiana Tech, he went to a whole nother level, and it's because of the Rooney family, right? They stuck with their horse. They stay with their horses. They give them confidence. The way that the McCaskies run this organization, they psychologically destroy players. They destroyed Mitch Trubisky. Matt Nagy did that too, had a big hand in that. But I just want to be on record. Like, we can't just sweep the Trubisky thing under the rug. I think it's a catastrophic mistake. And I think this kid from Ohio State is not going to win shit for us.
Well, here is the issue. I mean, what was the nickname of those Pittsburgh teams? What were they called? I believe it was called the Iron Curtain.
That would be the
Steel Curtain.
The Steel Curtain.
I'm sorry. So they had some other things that were going for them that they could create a little more wiggle room. The Bears, the only curtain they have is like a very lightly as a shower curtain right now. Those guys can come in and out of that offense and that defense. And the other issue is that we exposed of Mitchell Trubisky mentally. He's not there. Physically, yes, he's got tools, and I thought they gave up on him too early. But the fact that he was being coddled to, and they've admitted, I mean, they were turning the televisions off because he was too sensitive about the media talking to him. This is Chicago. It's not Pittsburgh. It's not a lot of other markets. Chicago is really a boiling pot of places that actually develop talent. So with that said, you had a guy who mentally checked himself out, and you had a coaching staff that was just crushing him, and you had a whole NFL that was just preying on him. So whether or not he gets out of his own head, that's the real big issue. Does he have skills? Yes. Would you still pass up on Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes to go get him? No.
Well, first off, let's just underline that in the 7 minutes that Seth's been with us now, I think we're on location 4, which is which
are you in a Chinese restaurant? I don't even know where you are.
I mean, he's just
this is the hotel lobby, but we're in New York City. We're on the street. We're on Park Avenue, and we're walking. This is the best way to do it.
Okay. I mean, there's a bunch of fan-sided people, by the way, in New York City. So if you run into Tohar or Inbar, let me know. Listen, Mitchell Trubisky. Did you ever listen to a Mitchell Trubisky press conference? Did you ever listen to the guy talk?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Recall.
Listen, to be a quarterback in the NFL, it does require a certain level of moxie, but also just intelligence. And Mitch Trubisky just doesn't have it. He doesn't. I think he can have a long career in the league. I think he'll be a backup for quite some time. I think the Steelers taking a flyer on him is fine. I'm even rooting for Mitch Trubisky. You're a fine fellow. You're not a bad guy. Go be successful. The ceiling for Mitchell Trubisky, Seth, trust me, they did not give up on the next whoever you want to make it. And Dan, to your point, of course, if you did that draft again, Trubisky's not picked in the first round.
No, I don't even think he's drafted.
Well, he's a.
All right,
he's drafted. I mean, right now he's barely even able to. Go ahead.
You guys name the location. Gibson's, your favorite restaurant in Chicago. I will treat you both. Mitch Trubisky will start for the Pittsburgh Steelers and will go to the playoffs, and they will go further than the Bears.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
I mean, listen, so you saying that, no, I wouldn't, that's not a terrible bet by you, because Pittsburgh's a top organization. Ben Roethlisberger could barely throw the ball 10 yards last year, and the Steelers were right there. So it could happen. I mean, there was a playoff team last year.
Put him in the right operative word you said, Mark, organization.
Right, but
Bears are not a top he gets in that culture of Pittsburgh where you expect to win versus where you're surprised to win in Chicago.
They went to the playoffs twice when he was here. They lost. It sucked. It sucked.
I just think we gave up. I think we gave up too soon. And I think people like you and Dan, who have a social responsibility to keep the heat and the pressure on these organizations to hold them accountable for stupid moves. I think the only thing stupider than drafting the guy and mortgaging the house to go up one pick was giving up too soon on him.
Nah, okay. Next time you're on, we'll get Mike North to be on too, because Pappy is with you. North agrees. You guys, and I'll let you tag team each other.
Is Pappy still on the airwaves somewhere?
Pappy's
ESPN. Yeah,
he's everywhere, bud. He's everywhere.
He's around.
No way. He's not. He's still coaching Notre Dame High School, getting technicals as the third assistant.
That I don't know, but God bless him for doing it.
I attended a game. Jalen Brunson, when he's at Stevenson, was playing Notre Dame, and Notre Dame had a kid going to Tennessee. It was a great game. I went to it. Freaking North got a technical. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the head coach of Notre Dame is like looking at Mike like, what the fuck did you say? Like, why are you unbelievable? Like, guy's trying to do good. They lost the game as a result of North's technical, by the way.
That's wonderful.
Hey, Seth, where's dinner over there, buddy?
I'm walking to 47th and Lexington, where I am meeting a business associate at the hotel, and then he's got dinner play. I don't know. I'm just following him.
Okay. All right, brother. Appreciate you. I'm gonna let you walk, and we'll wrap it up over here. But we got it. You're down. Trubisky. Any level of success this year? Dinner on us. Otherwise, me and Levy, you're taking us to Chicago, cut or wherever we're going.
What's
Yes,
the?
sir.
I was in Vegas a week ago. You guys know what the odds of the Bears winning the Super Bowl are?
8 million to 1.
Did you make a wager?
140. 140. Do you know what the
Man.
Denver Broncos, who sucked booty for the last several years, have been below 500, just as bad as the Bears, maybe worse, the Denver Broncos. Do you know what the
20
odds?
to 1?
12 to 1.
They got Russ. They got Russ. They got Russ.
Yes. By the way, I think
They
they're
got
going to
bought
the
by
Super Bowl.
Walmart. Things are going up.
100%, Dan. Like, but my point on that is, and I'll leave you, Mario. I know you want to get rid of me. Is that why not go out and get a proven quarterback? Why take all this risk in the draft again?
Well, those questions were actually answered when they fired Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. So that's the answer for that one.
Listen, hold on.
But look at Russell Williams. They were Russell Wilson. They were 100 and whatever to 1 last year. One change was getting the stud quarterback who's a proven winner, brought the Denver Broncos 12 to 1. I think that's super fishy. I guarantee, remember this, they're going to the Super Bowl. 12 to 1 makes no sense from going from 100 plus. Russell Wilson is taking the Denver Broncos to the Super Bowl. The Bears should go get a proven quarterback.
I'll bet you another dinner that the Denver Broncos don't win a playoff game.
Oh,
wow.
for sure.
All right, that's 2 dinners.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're
Massage Envy. I want a 2-hour massage at Massage Envy too. Actually, I want you to give me the massage, Mark.
No, you can do that without any wagering.
Massage Envy, you're on. All right.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. How do I hear more? Like, if when I hang up, like, how do I hear more? You guys, I love this dynamic. Mark and Dan, are you kidding me? You guys are great. Seriously.
Recipe for success, buddy. It's just like that Bears offense. We can only go up from here, bud.
Everybody needs it.
How do I get, like, is it? Tell me how I hear Mark and Dan and when I hear it, please.
All you got to do, Seth, and if you're here, I think you most likely have figured that out. But hit that subscribe button on DeWindy City. Mondays at 5, and and special episodes like today where we can get Seth live on the street in New York. Rare opportunity. And the Bears breaking rules at practice and Justin Fields throwing interceptions. And now all of a sudden we want Mitch Trubisky back. This has been a journey there and back.
And we got some NBA talk in there. That's a well-rounded show. It's a well-rounded show.
And Quinn Snyder talk out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Should the Bulls have gotten rid of Doug Collins, or would they have won 6 titles with Doug Collins? Who's in?
Tell Dan about that Chet Kopic moment when we were kids in high school, Dan. I used to call. We listened to Kopic on sports. We didn't know, Mark and I didn't know each other that well, but I would call in Chet Kopic as a high schooler all the time. And when I had heard in murmur, Mark, you got to tell the story.
I'll tell the story on the way out here. No, so we all started in the business around our age. We all listened to Chet. R.I.P. We love you, Chet. And Chet was a great Bears fan and was a fixture at Soldier Field. And Dan is very close, or was very close with Chet too.
Chet.
You love Chet. Guy. So Chet with Kopic on sports. Back then the Bulls were on 1,000. It was he hosted the Doug Collins show. So when they fired Collins, Chet wasn't thrilled about it. Neither were a lot of people. And I'm sitting there listening on the radio. Seth calls up. We're in high school, and he starts screaming about how Phil Jackson is going to be the answer, and that Scotty and Horace are about to they're about to be so seasoned. They're going to hit the next level, and Michael is Michael, and Phil is going to bring it all together. Just a perspective they haven't had, and I'm telling you right now that the Chicago Bulls are on the verge of a dynasty. And now they hadn't gotten past Detroit. I'm like, this guy's out of his freaking mind. Dynasty, can we win one? And as of course we all know, the time has passed. You were right, buddy.
6 titles, last dance. You won it. If Chet was around, I'm sure he would have bought you a steak.
I'm going Porterhouse when you guys buy it because Trubisky is this. I haven't felt like this. It goes against all logic. Like no one sees it. No, they took a chance on Phil Jackson and it paid off. I think with Mitch Trubisky, he is going to pay off. And just like Amazon, first 10 years didn't make $1. How they doing? Right. So I'm just telling you, I feel it.
Trubisky to Amazon. That is a connection that won't ever be made anywhere except for this very broadcast.
Well, you guys tried to tell me that he's intellectually not, up to par. He can't communicate properly. Like I get that, but how's Joe Montana doing? Joe Montana be out on. There's he's the worst communicator I've ever heard. The guy can't even talk.
He's football autistic. The guy's he's a football savant. Mitch Trubisky is not. And Montana, by the way, he's got he's 60 years old and got cracked 7,000 times. So there's add that in.
I'm just telling you, Trubisky is going to be the Phil Jackson.
Your words. You've lamented. You've cemented. We've wagered on it. Only time will tell. But let me tell you this: I do like it medium rare. I want a porterhouse and I want the key lime pie. I'm the guy that's ordering the dessert.
We'll see you in Mastros. All right, Seth, you're the best.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate
I'm going to keep going on myself. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Just he's in the background so you can still hear the show. There's a tremendous performance. All right.
Fantastic.
Dan, I love you. I'll remind everybody one more time. Anybody who subscribes, you're my hero. As we continue to build this thing, we're creeping up on 500 subscribers, working our way. So we appreciate everybody that's jumped on and tons of great content coming. And Levy, I always appreciate it when you make time to come on. So thank you, brother.
My pleasure, Carv. Thanks for making the call. Always a fun time.
Yeah, and Matt Eberflus, good job, buddy. They're playing hard for you. Justin Fields, don't worry about the interceptions. Keep your head up. But Bears fans, I will say, let's just I don't know.
Day by day, inch by inch, we're gonna get there, fans. We're gonna get there, and if worst comes to worst, we can all gather around as Bears fans and enjoy Trubisky getting hurt, just so Carv and I can enjoy some steaks.
I don't think we have to worry about that bet, but I particularly love the Russell Wilson thing in the AFC West. Good luck, good luck to Denver. I don't think they're making the playoffs, but we shall see. All right, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next Monday at 5. Dan Levy, you're the man. Thank you for watching the Windy City Fieldhouse, the Windy City Podcast, Fieldhouse, Iowa City. Go Hawkeyes. We'll see.